Everybody knows that's the way to do it. Gotta get away for a while to ease my head. Everybody knows that's the way to do it. Taking to the highway and leave your cares behind. Going to the country, yeah, yeah, yeah. Sleeping in the still of the night and wake to another day out in the country. Gotta get away for a while to ease. Everybody knows that's the way to do it. Well, I guess you could say I'm getting away from life, away from the noise and buildings that darken the sky. Something about the countryside that puts you in a trance. That's country living. Someday I hope to have some land and raise a family out in the country. Gotta get away for a while to ease my head. Everybody knows that's the way to do it. Gotta get away for a while to ease my head. Everybody knows that's the way to do it. I gotta get away, 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 gotta get away from a while to ease my head. Everybody knows that's the way to do it. You gotta get away.
Kyle LeBenz, everyone. If you don't know him, you know him now. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you. There we go.
So welcome, everyone. I'm Rev Rita.
And I am Reverend Patrick. Am I on? Doesn't feel... You'll know it about, for anybody that's new, you'll know in about 5 minutes. No. But anyway, Kyle, I just want to let you know, man, you make me smile. You just make me smile.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, you ready?
I am ready.
All right.
But before we go ahead, you can find your bowls. Find your bowls. This is our time of just centering and taking some time to just acknowledge, oh, can I say this word again? Peace. 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 We light our candle for peace. You know what? I am tired of the sabotage that is going on in this room. You guys hiding my lighter from... Thank you. You know, I said I'm going to do one day just serious about this. But I am very serious. This has been a week to remember. And I think that there's also some celebration in everything. So let's just allow ourselves to just center in on that thing called peace. Light the candle knowing that it starts, this candle, we light it symbolically. The light has already been lit. And it's just for us now to just let it go from here to there, to there, to there. Let it touch everyone that needs to be touched by this light of peace. So take a moment while we do the pulse. And so it is.
So it is.
Beautiful sounds of motorcycles and things going on. Just reminds us that right in the midst of everything is peace, in the midst of whatever's going on. Made me think of the idea of the pin light of the Kaua'i only have enough light, just a little pin light, but in the darkness, it can light the whole room. So yeah, welcome everyone. It's good to see you.
Welcome again. Yeah, so this is the moment where we welcome you and also let you know what we believe in the Science of Mind teaching. And that was founded by Ernest Holmes. And in chapter 2 of the introduction, he writes, in The Way It Works, which is what our week is about this week, the way it works. He says, the science of mind is not a special revelation of any individual. It is rather the culmination of all revelations. We take the good wherever we find it, making it our own insofar as we understand it. The realization that good is universal and that as much good as any individual is able to incorporate in his life is his to use, is what constitutes the science of mind and spirit. So there's one energy, we talked about that last week, one universal energy, one power, one light, one good, only one power. And it's how we use it, and it's how much of it that we can embody is how our life turns out. So the good news is we get to grow and we get to expand. And that's really what the Science of Mind teaching in its simplicity is, that it's up to us. It's up to us how we use it. It's up to us to recognize it in ourselves and to be from that highest place, which is love, and it's always love. So thank you for joining us today.
How does it feel to have that much power, huh? Yeah, feels good, yeah. Yeah. So who is here? I know there's a couple people. If you ever wonder what that camera is back there that stares into there, that's our ability to live stream and not just keep everything. What happens at CSL Kauai doesn't stay at CSL Kauai. It goes out into the world. But we know there's some new people there. Is there anyone who's new here that would like to raise their hand with absolute and their feet? We do know. Oh, there we go. We got people all over the place here. So, where anybody over here as I was staring over there? Okay. So, we know something about you. Maureen has explained some other details about you, Candy Bar, and we would like to, and for the rest of you, there'll be a dance number, and I'm going to be choreographing that, and so we do things a little different here at our spiritual center. But we want to let you know something about yourselves, and then people too online there. Shall we? Okay. You are magnificent.
Yes.
Give it up. Magnificent. Oh. And she received it, Candy Bar. And that was a nickname. That was this is Candy Bar and Cliff. I'm telling you right here. And she received it. That's a really good example of when someone tells you you're magnificent. We don't do this anymore. We don't go, no, not really. We just go, yeah. Thank you for recognizing me. And let's let the people that are peering in, I see you, because we have double camera now. I'm kidding. Okay, you ready? You are magnificent. Then we just put our hands on our heart, and we let ourselves know that. I am magnificent. Now don't keep it to yourself. Look to the left, to the right. I don't care where you look. Just let somebody know that they're magnificent. Gabrielle, magnificent. Magnificent. Jonathan's magnificent. Miss Kyle is magnificent. Jack, you are magnificent. Woo! Yes, indeed. And we have a magnificent opening song, don't we, Kyle?
Everything new, and everything different, everything true. 'Cause I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. Well, I'm through crying, and I'm through waiting. I'm through hoping against all hope. And I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. I think I finally learned to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. Well, I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. Oh, I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming that the life I had is ever coming back. No more wishing on someone else's star that'll never be mine. I think it's time.
So right here, right now, in this divine moment, I know as I look around this room in this sacred energy that we are all together creating, that I see brand new. I see brand new eyes. I see brand new energy that's just allowing itself to say, I am here. I am here. See me. See me. I see you. So we've come together to celebrate a truth that has been the truth since the beginning of time, since the beginning of this breath in which I breathe, that I share the same breath with each and every one of us in this room. Shoulders back and arms out saying, yes. Can you say yes with me? Yes, yes to life. Yes to this energy, yes to this power that is unlimited, that is moving through each and every one of us. This thing called love, this power of love that can move through anything. We've come here together to remember who and what we are. And that is new, brand new, no moments before. Nothing has happened in the future, all happening simultaneously, right here and right now in that quantum field, better known as God. Call it any name you choose, because it needs no name, because it is the breath of everything, seen and unseen. And with that, I just say, bring it on, bring it out, bring on the love that each and every one of us is. And now I just get out of the way and let it unfold perfectly, easily, effortlessly, lovingly, as together we affirm. And so it is.
Well, I've survived many times before, broken hearts and slamming doors. I'll be alright, yes I will once more. Just as I did back then, I'm gonna rise again. So bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. Well, I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new.
Good job.
Namaste.
Thank you, Kyle, and thank you, Daniel Nemad, who wrote that song. So, what is happening next? Our next thing to do is to invite Reverend Diane up to lead us in our meditation and spiritual mind treatment.
Aloha, good morning. I'm vibrating this morning. It started when I walked in here, and the music and it's just going to be good. I want to share with you a quote from our founder, Ernest Holmes, about how it works, about what the work is. We should work not with anxiety, but with expectancy, not with compulsion, but in a conscious state of recognition and receptivity. We do not have to push, but we must accept and believe. We should work not with anxiety, but with expectancy, not with compulsion, but in a state of conscious recognition and receptivity. We do not have to push. We have to accept and believe. Enjoy your time of contemplation. We should work not with anxiety, but with expectancy, not through compulsion, but in a state of conscious recognition and receptivity. We do not have to push, but we do have to accept and believe. Knowing that the work begins and ends in mind, I turn within now to that presence and power of God within me. Knowing that God moves in and through everything, seen and unseen, it is right where I am. I feel it, I know it, I allow it, expression in my life, expression through this word. Knowing it is right where I am, I know it is where each one of us is all the time. We live and move and have our being in the power, the presence, and the love of God. It moves us, it breathes us, it waves the ocean and brings the storms and the sun. And so from this place of divine knowingness, I speak my word today, knowing that we are each filled with the divine energy of spirit moving in and through every cell of the body. There is no place that this divine energy does not touch within us, releasing anything unlike perfection from the body temple. I give thanks that each one of us is divinely inspired with wisdom and divine right order and activity that allows us to work and create and be the expression of God that we are. I am so blessed and grateful to know that the divine flow of good is moving in and through all of our lives in a way that is indeed magnificent. Giving and receiving, receiving and giving, it's all the same thing. As we experience our needs met, pressed down and overflowing, we thrive. We thrive in this day in all ways. And so what comes to me now is the divine love of God, expressing as peace in the world and peace in every relationship. I am so grateful to know that respect, clear communication, and honoring of the divine individuality that each one of us is expressing is upheld, is honored, is blessed. As we all come together in community, in one unity, in the unity of God. I know that there is peace in the world. I know that the divine right order and activity is happening all throughout the world. I know that everyone's needs are met. I know that the perfection of God is possible on the planet, and I call it forth into expression right here and right now. It is done. It is done. So all we need to do now is express great gratitude for it and allow it to come forth through each one of us in its own right and perfect way. Mahalo ke kua. And so it is.
ke ka I ka hoe I ka hoe I ke ka I ke ka I ka hoe I ka hoe I ke ka I ke ka.
Thank you. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Reverend Diane, so much. Thank you, everyone. We've got that song down now, don't we? So we're still paddling, obviously, and bailing. I think this week was proof of that we are paddling together and that we are bailing out what no longer serves us. All right? And that we can be assured that the canoe is not going down, that the canoe stands strong. And because it stands strong because that canoe is in within each and every one of us, and it is the power and the presence of God that never changes. And this week, when I was in my moment on January 6th, or right after it, of feeling a little, uneasy about everything and wondering how everything was going to land. And I was woke up in the morning, and I wake up really early, and we wake up around 4:30 or so. And so I look out our bedroom window, because it's all glass, so we can just see the stars. And this particular morning, there were just a lot of stars. And so much so that I just wanted to go out and look at them. I realized I don't look at the stars enough. And I think what I got out of looking at those stars was that, and they were just, and you know how it is when you look at the sky, the more you look, the more stars appear, right? Because your eyes are just adjusting to the dark. That I realized that how constant the stars were, and how even when the sun was rising, that the stars were still there. They didn't go away. They just gave way to the sun, but they're still there. They're not going away. And it reminded me of this thing we call in the science of mind the changeless, or the power and presence of God. No matter what's happening, it doesn't go away. It's changeless, and we can always rely on it. And I just said that day, my mantra was just remember the stars. Anytime you get uneasy or feel that you're not safe or secure, just remember the stars, because we are. And the stars just can remind us of that. And this week is about how it works, how the power that we talked about, how it works. How does it work? I bet you'll even be able to guess, but don't tell me. There's only one way it can work, and it's through us. It only can work through us. It has to express through us. And it's expressing through all of creation. And how we get our lives the way they are is by how much of that we can embody and how we decide to use it. So there's a quote in the first chapter that says, we do not will things to be done. Things are brought into being not by will, but by the power of self-assertive truth. Now, I thought about it, to me, the key words are self-assertive truth. And for me, what that means is that we can't, will things to happen. We can't, bombard and will and press and push. And I think you used that in your quote too, Reverend Diane. But a self-assertive truth, something that we truly believe, something that has a power of its own as we put that intention out with the passion of that belief. It has a power of its own. We don't have to do anything to make it happen for us. We only have to have that self-assertive truth and then follow our intuition and move our feet, but we don't have to push whatever it is. And that's kind of what I saw this week, is push, push, push. And what I realized is that was a self-assertive truth for those people. But the problem with it is that, and this is in our teaching, that Truth demonstrates, and it demonstrates at the level of our belief, but we cannot use the power against another person, because eventually what will happen, and I think we can look at this throughout history, that will implode. It will implode upon the person or the group or whatever. It will just implode, because the power is like a snowball going down a hill. It gathers momentum and it moves, and and it gathers more snow and more snow and more snow and more snow, until finally either you're going to have a big, beautiful snowball to make a snowman with, or it's going to crash and it's going to burn. And so what I felt was, I trust that. I trust that love is greater than hate, and that love, as Dr. Martin Luther King said, will win out. It has to. And I think if we look at every single solitary part of history, we will see that love did win out. It might not have lasted long, but I have a feeling that we have said enough is enough is enough, and that we're ready. I really believe that. I believe that as things get dark, and they might continue to get dark, I'm not saying they won't, but that there's something behind it, the changeless that I just spoke of, that never changes. And the more of us that get the grasp on that, and the knowing of that, and that it's pure love, that's what it is, that we will see that this will dissipate into the nothingness for which it came, because it has nothing to breathe on. It has nothing to live on. It's like it needs a host. And the most of us that refuse to be hosts, and that means revenge and all of those things that we might feel like we want. Not that people shouldn't pay for what they do. I mean, I think there's a law of cause and effect that enacts, it does its thing. It does its thing. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't have the repercussions of their actions, but I'm also saying there's a difference between revenge and justice, right? It's the revenge and the anger that we carry that creates the illness in us and the discontent and all of those things. So my call is that we'll live in the love, and we'll be compassionate and just at the same time, merciful and just. I was listening to a talk by Greg Braden. I didn't like the talk too much, actually, but what I did get out of it was, he said we were in a state of mourning. And Kubler-Ross's stages of mourning, stages of grief. And that we are in a state of grief. I agree with what he said, because we have had our world just shift. All of a sudden, like on March 15th or whenever it was last year, it was March 15th for us, everything changed. Suddenly it seemed that everything changed, and we felt like everything was taken away from us. Some of us, we didn't know what to do. We were hit by something, that just stunned us. And it was like losing a loved one, losing a life that we're used to having. And so, as we know in the stages of grief, there's denial. I want to read them because I don't want to forget. Denial, anger, bargaining, acceptance, and depression. Not in that order, although acceptance is supposedly the final one, but they can intersperse and come back and all of that stuff. And so I believe that that's what we're seeing in the world. We're seeing this happening, and different people are reacting differently to this grief that we feel for what we've lost, or what we feel that we've lost. So what do we do with that? For me, it makes me have more compassion. For me, it makes me have more understanding. For me, it asks me, and you can ask yourself, where are you in here? Because you need to know where you're at, and you need to know if you want to stay there or not. If you want to be depressed, if you want to be angry, if you want to, and bargaining is a great one, because it's just like, okay, you're trying to make sense of it. You're trying to figure out, if I do this, this will happen, blah, 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 blah. And you're doing that. Or depression, which is really, there's a lot of that around, right? You got to kind of look to yourself and just say, hey, where am I in this? And do I want to stay there? And how do I want to move? How do I want to move? What do I want to do? Because I'm going to tell you that the way you're using the power, the way we're using it individually is what's going to create the collective use of the power in a greater way, the more of us, like I said. So the most important thing now is that we work on ourselves, that we take care of business that we need to take care of in our outside world, but that we work on our inner power, that we work on our inner minds, that we work on our inner emotions, and that we address those emotions and those things that trouble us so that we can stand strong, so that we can be beings of love, so that we can be helpers. As Mr. Rogers said, when things get scary, look for the helpers. I'm sure we want to be those helpers. I mean, I'm not sure, but I would assume the people sitting in here would want to be those helpers, the ones that are going to help the fallen, the ones that are going to help those that maybe aren't as strong right now, or need a little word of encouragement, or need someone to lean on. That's our job, to be the helpers. And so to go back to this, the way it works, just for a moment. So we get to use this power, right? We get to have as much of it to use as we can embody. It's our concept of it that creates our life. So how do we get there? It's like, I'm going to be teaching a class that says, how do we feel God? We call it God, and some people hate that word, but how do we feel it? It's an individual journey because it's the feeling that matters. It's how we feel God and how much of it that feeling that we can embody that's going to create a better world, not just for us, but for everyone. So it's interesting. I have all these quotes and I haven't used one of them, but I haven't used one. You wouldn't believe how many I have. Anybody that studies with us in class knows Rita always has all the quotes and the patch. Yeah. Anyway, but I want to use some of them because they're so good. So I was saying we must begin on the individual level. So Ernest Holmes said in this chapter the way it works. And if you don't have the Science of Mind textbook, we have a lot of them, and it's well worth having. And it's quantum science written in 1927 or 1937, whatever. But he says it is. I know there's a redo of the book. I never know if it's 37 or 36, but it doesn't matter. It's 36. Thank you, Reverend Diane. Okay. Ernest Holmes writes, "We now know that this source God is what we are." Okay, we know that, right? Yeah. Right. Do we feel it? That's another question, right? We have to work on that. But if God is everything, and we learned that in catechism school when I was Catholic, if God is everything, then because we could not be anything else, he says, we couldn't be anything else. We know the source is God is what we are. We could not be anything else. But we do not know how much of this we are. That's where we have to work on, how much of it we are. When we see it as it is, then we shall see ourselves as we are. But the stars, look at the stars. When we see ourselves as all those planets and stars and this infinite creation that we don't even know half of what it's about. It just goes on forever. When we see it as it is, then we'll see ourselves as we are. We can only see it by looking at it through our own eyes. This is what our evolution is about. We can only see it as looking at it through our own eyes. Somebody can't do it for us. We can stand up here and give a beautiful spiritual mind treatment, or we can stand up here and talk. We can help others, but eventually they have to see it through their own eyes. And that's where we are at right now. So we don't have room like for hatred or revenge or any of that. We've got to see it everywhere, and then it lifts as we see it in a bigger way in ourselves and in everyone else. So he says, hence we shall find a better God when we shall have arrived at a higher standard for humanity. Right? We shall find a better God when we shall have arrived at a higher stand for humanity. For if God is to interpret itself to mankind, it must interpret itself through humanity. So this is what's happening. God is moving through this whole experience, this power and essence, and it's one power, and it's how we use it that creates our life. So we saw how certain people used it on January 6th, and we didn't, for the most part, like it. We didn't like it at all. It scared us, and it made us feel like enough was enough, and I'm just talking for myself, maybe, I'm just saying a lot of people. It's interesting. It says people act like on what they believe. And they go, so many people believe this and so many people believe that. But if you cannot prove what you believe, and that's true in this teaching, then it can't be true. It only can be true if you can prove it. So can you prove your life? Can you believe enough to prove that you're this presence and power of God? Can you use it? Can you expand yourself? And to start right where you are, not to get frustrated and say, oh, I'm not over there where Gandhi is or Martin Luther King or, Jesus or whoever, but I'm right where I am. I'm right where Rita is right now. And I'm willing to open up and encompass as much of this power as I can and to use it. And if you're willing, and you turn to this power within you, it has to turn back to you. It has to. It will open, and it already has opened and expanded many of us. And through this whole trial and tribulation we've gone through for this year, it's almost a year. Can you believe that? I have seen more expansion and more knowing from people and more loving behavior than I've seen the opposite. So I'm trusting that. And so that's what I know, and that's what I claim. And I claim right now that whatever else needs to move out of the way, this was the last gasp of a dying fear. As Donna Michaels put it, Reverend Donna Michaels, it's the last gasp. When we're coming up for a change, everything will come up to let us know that it's not true and that we need to give up. And we're not fighting. We're just not giving up on love. We're not giving up on love of everyone and compassion and understanding and justice. But justice with love. Does that make sense? Because it's the hate that will sink us, and we'll be that snowball that smashes against the against the rock and disintegrates. So it's only love can bring love. All right. So I feel that I want to do a treatment right now, just to ground. All right. And so let's just take a deep breath. And what I really, really, really know and feel is that there is only one power, one presence, one source, one creativity that moves and breathes and lives everywhere, in and through everything. And that its very essence is good, and its very essence is love, and its very essence is freedom. We are expressions of that power, each of us, individually and collectively. So if there's only one power and we are each expressions of it, then we have to be united. We have to be together. We have to be moving and living and breathing as that one power. And I know that right here and right now, what I claim is that we move and live and breathe as love. No matter what we come against, no matter what comes into our experience, that we remember the stars, and we remember that constant activity of love that moves through us and intuits through us and allows us to know exactly what to do in every moment, to create the lives that we want for ourselves and for the world, and to move and live and be these beings of light, these helpers that we are. So I feel grounded in this. I feel grounded knowing that the helpers are here, seen and unseen, assisting us and joining us in love. So I expect the most perfect, beautiful, amazing outcome that's already done, that this planet, Earth, is lifted up in that love and in that unity and in that beautiful, amazing thing called God. And I know and claim that it's truth, that it's true, and that it is my self-assertive truth that is moving like a snowball of beauty through all of the earth plane, just gathering more and more of what is like itself, just gathering it, gathering it, gathering until the whole planet is just lifted up in love. I am so grateful to speak this word and to know that it is already done. It's already done in the mind of God and the mind of good. It's already complete. And now I just walk as it, as I release my word, as I let it be, as we affirm together. And so it is. So it is. Thank you. Yay. Kyle, take us away.
When I look into your eyes, it's like watching the night sky. Oh, a beautiful sunrise. There's so much they hold. And just like them old stars, I see that you've come so far to be right where you are. How old is your soul? But I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love, still looking up. And when you're needing your space to do some navigating, well, I'll be here patiently waiting to see what you find. 'Cause even the stars, they burn, some even fall to the earth. We got a lot to learn, and God knows we're worth it. No, I won't give up. I don't wanna be someone who walks away so easily. I'm here to stay and make the difference I can make. Our differences, they do a lot to teach us how to use the tools and gifts we got, yeah. We got a lot at stake. And in the end, you're still my friend. At least we did intend for us to work. We didn't break, we didn't burn. We had to learn how to bend without the world caving in. I had to learn what I got, what I'm not, and who I am. Well, I won't give up on us, 'cause even if the skies get rough, I'm giving you all my love. Still looking up, still looking up. No, I won't give up on us, 'cause God knows I'm tough enough that we got a lot to learn. God knows we're worth it. Oh, I won't give up on us, 'cause even if the skies get rough, I'm giving you all my love, still looking up.
How perfect is that song? We've got so much to learn, right? And God knows we're worth it. I think at the end of the day, or the end of something, there's going to come to find out that that's what it was all about, is how much worth it, how much we thought we were worth it. And when we all start to think and to believe and to feel that way, I think we have something really grand happening. I grabbed a quote at the last minute thanks to Marion, she read a poem a while back, or not too far back, by Kathy Broom. And it says, "There is no more room for what I have outgrown. There is no more room for what I have outgrown." Thank you. Namaste. You guys are clapping because you're thinking, really? Really? Nah. But anyway, there isn't any more room, and I don't know how many times we have to keep saying to ourselves that, but I just love it because we keep using this. I use it all the time. I said, this is the prayer, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Except there seems to always be more. There seems to be more. I loved it with our new year, right? Goodbye, 2020. Kick you to the curb. 2021, week 1. Week 1. And then that taught me a valuable lesson. Oh, stop controlling the time and the space. But what it really told me was that every day has to be a new year. Because this thinking that at 2020, everything, like the virus and everything else is going to go, well, it's 2021. Boom! Let's stop it all. No, it doesn't always work that way. Because what we're doing is we're constantly evolving. So I don't care what day it is or what year it is, but enough is enough. And it's coming up to let us know so many things. This year, it reminds me of what I used last year about, what, for those who have had a real tree, so then you go, goodbye, Christmas, until like Valentine's or Easter, you're finding the little needles from the tree. That's how it felt this week. It's like, goodbye. Oh, a Christmas needle is still there. Something still needs to be known. That's all it said to me this week. I had every emotion imaginable. I know, Kyle, you think of me as holier than now, but let me tell you something. I had some moments this week. And what did we do when that happened? We said, let's open the center and let's have a candlelight vigil. We couldn't get the word out a lot to people. It was 4 hours later and we tried to do it. But all that mattered is that we said, what can we do? And so we Facebook Live did when Reverend Diane was here. We just did the best that we could with what we had. But that's not the point. It doesn't matter who's here, who wasn't. It matters that we took action based from a place of love. It's like I'm really scared now. I'm angry now. My inner child was out of control. I thought you said it was over. And then this is happening and it's scared. And so what you do with fear is you take some action. This idea that we have this philosophy that just sits around waiting for something to just undo itself or do it, that's not what it's about. And if it is, I think we're going to be totally disappointed. We're going to be very disappointed. So, I learned this week about the house divided against itself was quite clear. And so I have a quote from Ernest Holmes. And I have all of Rita's quotes, so I will be able to use them today. But I thought we would play with this quote from Ernest Holmes. I'll read it through, and then I just want to take a few little gems from it. Breathe. In our ignorance of the truth, we have misused the highest power we possess. And so great is this power, so complete is our freedom in it, so absolute the domain of law through it, that the misuse of this power has brought upon us the very conditions from which we suffer. We are bound because we are first free. the power that appears to bind us, is the only power in the universe that can set us free. Back to the one power. And I don't tell anybody what to do. I only talk for myself. But as long as we're in duality, as long as we have a good and bad power, we will always have a good and bad power. And we will never have this unity that we've been talking about since the very breath of life. And so if there was a God, excuse me, anyone watching, anyone here, if there was a God outside of ourselves sitting there watching all of this, then shame on you. Because that's what I'm feeling in this moment. Because I know it's not true. And if it is true for you, no one wants to take away anyone's God. We're not even here. We mention God a lot. We're talking the power. I love the idea of the power. The idea of the power. So in the ignorance of truth, we have misused the highest power we possess. When we, us as one realize that we have that power to misuse or to use, then we are free. Free. That's what I think that, at least I want at the end of the day. I want to be free. Free of what? Free of you telling me what to do? Free of you not being the boss of me? No, I want freedom to enjoy the very power that we were given the day we arrived, and much before that. That breath of life that we call God, that breathed the breath of life through each and every one of us, that says, I can't stop creating, man. It had a man in there too. That power, I can't stop creating. Can you imagine? I can't stop creating. And now we have the opportunity to create the good. If we want to know how we're using the power in our life, just look at our lives. It's not here to scold anybody. It's not here to say, oh, look at your life. Look what you did. No, it says, look at your life. Look what we're responsible for, and let's change it. And I'm not here to convince anybody, and I'm also not here to beat you up if you don't believe it. This teaching, this is not a bully teaching. This is only to say, hey, have you ever thought something new? That this might be, I don't know about you, but this might not be working? That there's another opportunity. The power is on our side. Wow. And I know it's really difficult sometimes because we can't see it. It's invisible. But that's not true. We say, oh, this power is invisible and you can't see it. That's why it's hard to grasp it. I'm looking at it right now. That's the clue. That's the, where is God? Where is power? Right here. Right there. This candle, everything is this thing called God. Last week we talked about the thing itself. And some people say, well, how do we harness it? Once again, let's control it now. I want to harness the power. Harness! You know, you can't harness it, you are it. What are you going to harness? But I get it, because we want to say, oh, bring it in so I can show it to you. Power. A lot of work, right? The title of our talk, by the way, never really came up, but it's called Work It. Work it. And I think we're done working it. Did you know work it, actually the slang, is actually a compliment. Somebody taking whatever their gift is or whatever their power is and they're working it. You remember, work it, girl. And we're live. Yeah. I mean, I heard that from some kids that taught that to me. I mean, there was never a time in Hollywood where I went, work it, girl. Except girl's a little longer, too. Girl. Sometimes I even scare myself. If you guys are thinking anything right now, sometimes I do it myself. But it's the thing itself. And it works, as Rita said, by working through us. This week, my lesson to bring to you. I learned what compassion really means. Because the human conditioning of Patrick, and we all have the human conditioning, compassion was not first on my list. Was not the first thing that came up like, wow, Rita, come forth. Let's be with this, at one with this. But I'll tell you what happened was, we did not do that. First, you get scared. You ever been scared? Did you know that's what causes us to act mean? That was my little boy letting you know. That's what we do. When we get scared, we have to hurt something, because hurt people hurt people. And we've all had our share of some form of hurt or some form of pain. But my lesson was in compassion, because I was, doing what I told you before. I'm not going to watch the news until, you just happen to be doing something. There it is. And it has a power. I know I said there's only one, but the power of the internet does go, Patrick, there's something you need to know. And 100,000 people are going to give you their opinion of it. What are you going to believe? I don't know. That's what I did. But here's what happens with that. Is that I saw some things and I heard some things that were the people on the opposite side. Once the good and the bad, and everybody's figuring out what side they're on, and they're all confused because they're all together. And they're like, wow. But what I realized was my heart opened, and I felt not sorry. Be careful of sympathy. It does no one any good. It just makes them feel like crap. But I felt an incredible pain that I had not felt since all this stuff has begun. This pain that said, all of this fear and all of this hatred and all this stuff is just coming up. And it's wanting to be known, and it's afraid. And all of a sudden, I just saw a whole bunch of little boys and girls in big clothes and saying, please don't find out that I'm a fraud. And I don't mean fraud in your beliefs. I'm talking about fraud as beings. I got to do this. I got to do this. And I had this incredible feeling of, I'm sorry you're in that much pain. Because you couldn't ever do, any of us could never have done the things that we've done in our lives here and there unless there was some misunderstanding. So the thing itself then works for us by working through us and is us always. Yeah, so it all came up, and it's all, I hate to say this because it doesn't feel that way to a lot of people, but this universe that I live in, Patrick's world, that would be like an amusement park. Patrick's world. The world that I live in up here, y'all want to go, don't you? I hear you. They go, sign me up, I'm going. We're talking about the idea of heaven or hell, my friends. Heaven or hell is not a place for me to go to. It's a state of mind. And I have a choice. Or I have a choice to stay in the middle, which is worse than heaven or hell. Because that means you won't make a decision. I don't know, is heaven over here? And I've been seeing a lot of that this week. This I'm not going to make a decision. I admire you so much, just this is a personal side here. I admire you when you stand for what you believe. It is hard for me to admire and to use as my example or my inspiration when you're flipping. This day you feel this day you feel that. And I get it. That's kind of how life unfolds. But at the very center of who we are is this power. And I know the way it works. So it's not enough to know how it works, right? It's about how to use it, which we'll be discussing next week. So hold on. But we use it by recognizing, by looking in the mirror. If you want to see the most powerful thing that ever existed, look in the mirror. And let's dare to be the ones that say, I'm going to love in the midst of it. It doesn't mean that, what we were saying, it doesn't mean justice. Vengeance, there's not a way in the world vengeance has ever served anything. And if there is, please send me an email when vengeance, you could say, has totally justified a situation. May it justify it. Our human condition is, see, I told you. I told you. I was right all along, bad people. I was right all along. And then that lasts for 5 minutes. And then we have to go back to living. And so I say, that this, we were saying the other day, this philosophy is not some for the weak of heart. This philosophy is demanding from itself as the Creator itself has demanded. That's saying something. And no one said it's easy because we have human conditioning, I say with a smile. But I want to wind us up here as we work it. I'm going to have to watch that just to see how I did that work it, girl. Power here, here's the thing. The thing itself works through us, as us, and the thing that's working is spirit. I'll leave you with the Ernest Holmes quote as well. In that inner sanctuary of our own nature, this is beautiful, get ready for nap time. In that inner sanctuary of our own nature, hidden perhaps from objective gaze, nestles the seed of perfection. That seed inside of you that says, I don't have to work so hard anymore. I want to get this across today in this message, that you are perfect. Everything is unfolding from a place of perfection, no matter what it looks like. Is that airy-fairy thinking? Is that Pollyanna? Yeah. Yes. The other's not working. And so this, I say work at spirit, but here's the deal. We have a power that serves us as our servant. A lot of people do not like the word servant. But here's the question, and this is the power here. Are we going to be the masters of kindness, or I want to be a master of kindness. I want to take the power that lives within me and say, let's work it. Wow, it's like being given the kingdom and walking around and saying, has anybody seen my riches? I can't find them. Oh. God, I'm looking out at you, and I am just in awe of our power. It's time to use it. 2021, 22, doesn't matter. But I would suggest now. You are perfect. You are the seed of perfection. Namaste. Rev Rita, lovely pearls you're wearing. Are those pearl earrings that you got for Christmas? Oh, I wasn't going to put that one in, Adora.
That's for my dad. That's for my husband. All right.
How y'all feeling?
So this is our time as we get ready to sing. Our time of giving and assisting in the a sustainment of Center for Spiritual Living Kauai. So thank you for what you give to help this message go forward and to help the center stay here as a lighthouse in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. So thank you for everything you give. And let's sing.
We have plenty.
All that I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be. It's a blessing, it's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all. All that I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be. It's a blessing, it's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all. And now, and I open my heart, my gratitude goes out to everything near and far, and all that I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be. It's a blessing, it's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all.
Oh, grateful for it all. I speak this word of thanksgiving for the generosity in this room that supports Centers for Spiritual Living, not just this community, but worldwide. The blessings in these baskets go out from here to touch and bless those around us, and you make that possible. So mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you, Reverend Diane. Thank you, Sue.
Thanks, Sue. And Peggy.
And Peggy, yeah. All right, so thank you. We don't have any children
But we're
today.
going to bring Janice up because I think we're going to do something that they wanted. Bob suggested last week, and we didn't do it. Come on up, Janice. Give it up for Janice. For those of you who don't know Janice, she's been around for all the time that we've pretty much been here and used to sit out the Aston Aloha when we were in a little room starting going, are there any kids? Are there any kids? And we can still do that. Just to let you know that the kids are out partying wherever they are today, but it's really nice having you here. But we always give them their mantra, but I think we should give it to Janice this time. That's what I think would be a good idea. Okay, you ready? Go.
You are amazing. You are perfect. You are magnificent.
And we love you.
Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you, Janice. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
Yes, let people know we have a youth program here because it's really important that we start to try to grow this. And we always, Rita and I have that philosophy. We start where we are and we just move, and it's always in the right time what it needs to be. So there we go. What do we got going?
Okay, so we have a few things going. First of all, to remember that the newsletter and pledge forms are still here for 2021, and how important it is that we receive, that we know what is going to come in income-wise to the center, so that we can budget and plan ourselves. Ballpark, right? And if you didn't receive one in the mail, just they're back there, like I said. And so the Power of Decision, this amazing class that
the books came in yesterday.
Gaining its snowball momentum. The books came in, yeah, and it starts on January 13th. We're going to do it for 6 weeks, starting at 6 p.m. on January 13th. So come enjoy that class and recognize, I'm telling you, that when you decide to make a definite decision in your life, things do change.
And a couple of things with that. One is it does start this Wednesday, 6 o'clock. A lot of people go, I say on Kauai especially, it's like 6 weeks. I don't go any further than 3 weeks in my life, or 2 weeks or 1 week. But this is a committed class. And what that means is that we have wonderful Rob back there. Give it up for Rob. on Wednesday nights, he films it. So then when you say, no, I can't make it, we'll go, no problem, because we have it already filmed for you. And we know that there's a lot of people watching online. They're going to take it from there too. So it's just one of these classes that I get so excited, that we get so excited, because it actually, and we were saying today, it's active. I think that just the idea of making a decision becomes active instead of saying, I don't know, maybe. This is like, let's do it, let's do it. So I know you're watching on there, Wednesday, 6 o'clock, everybody in here, books back there.
The book is back there.
Book back there, and the magazine, Science of Mind magazine.
Yeah.
There's 3 left, and because it's already into January, it
There's
is $3.
right? Okay, so yeah, so the annual membership meeting is scheduled for January 31st, right after service. It will be live streamed. So if you're here, you happen to be here on that day, you can stay. But if you're not, and obviously we can't have everybody here, it will be live streamed, so you'll be able to watch it there. And that's where we review the year, and then also talk about what's coming, okay? And then the other thing that you need to know is that Cinema Night is the 29th, and we will know the truth for whatever's going on. That we always know that divine right action is in place, because we don't know what those people are experiencing or what they want, but we do know there's a higher divine right action that's always in place. So, yeah. Anyway, Cinema Night, my octopus teacher.
We are
and
doing
I
it.
know a lot of you have already seen it or haven't seen it.
It doesn't
or whatever,
matter
but
how many times you've seen it. You
I'm
can
looking
see
forward
it
to
a
seeing it
million
again.
times.
And if you want to, it's a great film to recognize the infinite nature of creation. That's what I got out of mostly. But yes, my octopus teacher, 6 o'clock on January 29th. And then the only other thing is that we are going to try to put a flying solo together. And I'm saying try because we need at least 6 people. We don't take more than 8. But it's a 6-week program. There's people in here that have taken it already. They could raise their hands, and maybe if somebody had a question, they can ask it. Natalie and Janet and Rob and Roseanne and Ron, and Mary McDermott. So, and others, and Sue Buckley, you took it. Anyway, so it's a beautiful, amazing program that we started when we lived in California. We started it in the prison system, where people come together and they do a timeline of their life, and they pick an event, or their whole life for that matter, and they process it, and they have to be willing to process it, and then use it as a means of inspiration to others. And then after the 6 weeks, we have like a presentation in front of a live audience that allows us to share that experience with everyone and uplift them, inspire them. It's very powerful.
And it's not about acting. It's not
it's nothing to do with acting.
People have read their stuff. They have. It's just an evening of who has actually come to see it. Probably everybody. Yeah.
Everybody. It's always a packed
And
house.
so what it is it's an opportunity to take that part of your life and really express it and
use it as a source of
right,
inspiration.
Right,
to others.
and everyone. It's one of our biggest attended.
And that's it for
All right.
now. All
and
right.
so the sign up is out there. So just sign up and let us know if there's interest. Yes.
All right. I think we're ready to close out. Are we?
Are
Yes.
you ready?
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go. Oh, and
Sing along.
look where we are. 10:20. Let's do it.
You know it by now. You know it by now. Get focused. And I'm going to do my dance interlude. Just kidding.
Rising up, back on the street. Did my time, took my chances. I went the distance, now I'm back on my feet. Just a man, his will to survive. So many times it happens so fast. You change your passion for glory. Don't lose your grip on the dreams of the past. You must fight just to keep them alive. It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. Rising up to the challenge of our rival. And the last known survivor stalks his prey in the night, and is watching us all with the eye of the tiger.
Okay. All right. So what I know right here and right now is that, well, There's only one rival, and that is fear. And the only antidote for that is love. And so I know right here and right now is who and what we are. We are that source of love right here and right now. And I have the eye of the tiger about that, knowing that love wins. Love overcomes everything. Love transfuses everything. Love is a transformative power, and we are all it. So I'm grateful to know that. And I go within just with this gratitude, just so grateful for this time that we've had together, and know that we take it now, we take it out into the world, and we use it. We use it, we use it, we use it to the highest and best of our ability right here and right now. And I thank everyone who assisted today to help us to have this time together. And that would be our Malama team, Marion and Angela. And Marion, who stands behind the Malama team and helps that Malama team show up every week. Thank you for that. And to Roseanne, who's in the bookstore back there, also helping Rob and other things that she does. And to Rob, who takes our word out into the world. Thank you, Rob. And Jonathan, who makes sure that these are dedicated people that really have stood behind CSL Kauai for almost since its beginning. So thank you. And to Ron Stover, again, thank you, Ron, for all that you do in hospitality and just assisting us with however we need it. And Kyle, whoa. We're grateful for Kyle. Oh, see how they love you, Kyle? That's so great. And to Reverend Diane, where did she go? She's gone. Oh, my God.
She's so enlightened.
She went. She transcended. No, not yet. All right. So we thank her for a beautiful and powerful treatment and for all that she does for CSL Kauai. So with all this gratitude I have, and I just infuse it into this word that I'm speaking, and know and just claim the best ever for each of us as we walk out from here, as I just let it be so, and so it is.
So it is.
Eye of the tiger is the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of our rival. And the last known survivor stalks his prey in the night, and he's watching us all with the eye of the tiger. Oh, the eye of the tiger.
You're just beaming over there, my friend. Beaming. Give it up, yes, for yourself. Everybody online, mahalo.